Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Theater of Football. I'm Mike Odom, and I'm joined, as always, by Patrick Heinrich. Hi, Patrick.
Hey, y'all.
Well, it's good news today. United were able to get a 2-0 draw against Leicester, or 2-0 win. Gosh, I am drained, Patrick. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But we got the 2-0 victory over Leicester at King Power Stadium. The CS finished third. Patrick, back in January when we struggled and lost 2-0 to Burnley at Old Trafford, a game I was actually at, did you see a third-place finish being on the cards for us?
No, not at all. And there was just speaking of being emotionally drained, like just the last 2 weeks have been just emotionally draining. But it was emotionally draining for a good, week and a half or 2 weeks after that Burnley game. But we've had our ups and downs, and I think overall, I've been very happy and proud of what we've been able to accomplish. But I would not have seen a third place finish in January at all.
No, for us to finish third is great. But even that after that Burnley match, I wouldn't have even thought we'd be fourth, close to qualifying for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So much was written about the Bruno Fernandes transfer and a lot of stuff about how he got how the move was pushed forward from the summer transfer window to get done in January.
Mm-hmm.
If that is the case, how big was that move?
It was huge. It was huge. I think it was definitely the right call, and I think it it gave everybody or gave the whole team something new after the restart. And I think it gave all the fans something new after the restart. And, when you look at, single important decisions in the history of a club, I think this might be one of those things that goes down as a really a big milestone.
Yeah, I've heard people compare it to when we signed Eric Cantona in the early 90s, that the club was able to push on from there and start winning titles and really contend in Europe as well, even though we didn't win the Champions League until after Cantona retired. I think we're still a few players away. I think the last couple of weeks has shown that we just have a few players that Ole doesn't trust by more than a few players. So he has his first 11, and the rest have struggled. Having said that, given the amount of games and how quickly they come, it's hard to give everyone game time. And when the players did get a chance to come in, they didn't necessarily look the sharpest because, well, they hadn't been playing in matches. So
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see how the squad develops when we kind of get back into a normal rhythm in September. Of course, we have the Europa League to still play in August. So pressure's off us there to have to win that to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So the players can go out there and feel free to perform. So hopefully it'll be an entertaining game or entertaining competition for us to watch as United fans. But diving deeper into the match today, it was a difficult watch, I thought, in the first half. It didn't look like I wanted us in our pre-match video. I wanted us to try to keep things tight and at the back, and I didn't feel like we did that at all. It was a very open game, and maybe we were a little fortunate that Leicester didn't take more care of the opportunities we gave them in that first half. But from your perspective, what did you make of the performance today?
Well, I thought just in normal, some of the trends that we've been seeing with sloppy defense, I think we saw that in the first half. I still don't think we were very good in the second half, but I thought we had a few individual kind of clutch decisions on the defensive half that made, shut down a few opportunities. But again, Leicester, they had a brilliant opportunity right in front of the goal in the second half, and they couldn't capitalize on it. Yeah. So I'd still say our defending is not at all where it needs to be. So I think that needs to be improved. That was a little sloppy. I thought that our midfield play was a little bit better. I thought we connected some very nice quick succession passes. I don't think we held on to the ball as much as we have been doing in the past. You definitely saw that a lot better in the second half. I think Matic and Pogba had some great passes, great downfield kicks. So it was good to see them again. I thought Fernandes, couldn't really connect a few things. I thought he was maybe a little bit off, but overall, I thought that our defense is a little sloppy, but the rest of play was an improvement over what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, good points there, especially about the defending. And when I say we're still a few players short, that's kind of the area where I think we're struggling. I think we need another attacking player, preferably on the right wing. Maybe that'll be Sancho, but I think we need a couple players at the back to shore things up there. Wan-Bissaka made some nice tackles again today, but as far as Maguire getting booked in the first 10 minutes, that's not good on a challenge on the halfway line. That was pointless. And then Lindelof, who I thought had a good game up until the point he hacked down Vardy as Vardy's running towards the touchline. Not really going to go anywhere, and he picks up a yellow card there. That was dumb as well. There is a lot of improvement that needs to be made back there. I think the fact that we were kind of wide open, we weren't as – I wouldn't say we were very tight tactically, that allowed Leicester to really open things up. But I think we were a little fortunate. Vardy made some runs in behind that is the players on the pitch didn't necessarily see. And so maybe the injury to particularly James Maddison helped us out there, because it's probably runs that Maddison picks out. But overall, Martial won the penalty. I actually thought Evans got the ball, but at the same time, you have Wes Morgan coming from the other side, wiping him out. So I think the combination of both makes that a Stonewall penalty. So, and Bruno, he did not have his best day again, but he held his nerve and converted from the spot. And that put us in a good position for Jesse Lingard to get that late robbery of Schmeichel and sliding home to get his one league goal of the season. So congratulations to him. Somehow. Yes, he didn't put up a goose egg, so props to him. I think Ole actually put him on for – who did he put on? Greenwood, I believe. And I thought that was actually not a bad move, because Greenwood did well, does get back defensively, but he tends to leave a leg in and concede some set pieces, dangerous set pieces in our defensive third. And Lingard will run again and try to cover that side, but maybe he doesn't really put those types of challenges in where he's going to foul somebody. So I didn't think in today's match, with us a goal up and a draw being enough for Champions League, that was necessarily a poor substitution. And maybe him scoring a goal is good for Jesse. Maybe he can start to rediscover some of the form he had a few years ago. But I won't hold my breath on that. It was just one goal and it was gifted to him. So but it was good for him.
Still builds confidence.
that is true. So he'll probably get a start when we come back on, I believe August 5th is when our second leg of the Europa League is against Lask. So being 5-0 up in the first leg, I'm pretty sure Ole will risk putting out there Jesse. So maybe he can build upon that goal and put in a nice performance there against probably weaker opposition, at least judging by the first leg they were. So it'll be interesting to see the Europa League. We'll talk about that more in depth. Just wanted to get your thoughts on maybe some of the other action going on as well. Chelsea were able to get a 2-0 win over Wolves. Spurs were able to draw with Palace, which meant that Spurs jumped Wolves into 6th place, and now Wolves will need Chelsea to beat Arsenal in that FA Cup final to have that 7th place spot become a Europa League position. But given if you're Wolves, and keeping in mind that they had a really good season in the league despite playing in the Europa League, but with the smaller squad that they have, would they really want to maybe go in the Europa League again? They are still in the Europa League this season. And they could potentially win that and qualify for the Champions League potential semifinal against United on the cards there if both win their quarterfinals. But if you're Wolves, would you root for Chelsea to win that match, or would you maybe want Arsenal to win just so you can have fewer games and really maybe push hard for top 4 next year?
Yeah, it's definitely a good question, because I think there's definitely a benefit in having whether it's of your own fault or the fault of the way that how everything stacks out in the end. of, having the ability to have some rest before going into the next season, or, being able to focus on, I should say, trying to get place higher up in the table in the Premier League. But I think ultimately they'll be rooting for Arsenal to win. And, I think that they're, you could always get into the Europa League and put forth, kind of an effort and still focus on, getting into the top table the top four in the Premier League. I don't think, just as far as hedging your bets, I think it's best to, hope that Arsenal wins the game and or Chelsea wins the game. Sorry. Yeah, I hope that Chelsea wins the game and that you do get into the Europa League. So that you have another shot at an opportunity next season. But you can still focus on Premier League play and still be in the Europa League and maybe put up like a weaker side. I think that's the best bet for any club.
Yeah, and I get talked to about like United qualifying for Europa League instead of the Champions League, and people I talk to, mainly, supporters of other clubs, bring up the Thursday, Monday schedule and how that's a detriment to a team. But I've always countered kind of with what you're saying, that the Europa League, what has it been, close to a decade since UEFA has made the champion guaranteed them a spot in the Champions League. So it gives you an opportunity to not just win that competition to qualify for the Europa League, or qualify for the Champions League, like you were saying, hedge your bets, but it also gives you an opportunity to play maybe not the top European sides, but other European sides where the style of play is different, and help develop your squad. And Wolves are in a position where I think they will wind up keeping all their players. Jimenez has been talked about potentially moving on, but I think with the pandemic going on and all that, that they'll end up keeping pretty much the whole squad intact. So I think from that standpoint, you looked at their manager, Nuno Espirito Santo. He did a good job of, I felt, keeping the squad as fresh as possible by while making those European commitments. So I agree with you. I think they would want Chelsea to win to guarantee them that Europa League spot. I believe that Europa League spot will also be, they'll also have to go through a little bit of qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe he wouldn't be thrilled with that. But I do think he's a manager that wants to be in every competition and give them the best opportunity to potentially get at Europe's top table after next season. But like I said, I think they're one of the stronger sides still left in the Europa League, along with us and maybe Inter Milan and Bayer Leverkusen. So you could see potentially them winning that and getting in Europe's top table by October, which I think is when the group stage is supposed to start. So that'll be interesting to see from Wolves. That just was kind of a footnote that wasn't discussed much today, because I kind of had a hunch that Chelsea would win and Spurs would get a result of some sort at Palace. So that'll be interesting to see the FA Cup final, how that'll affect Wolves, and then how they do in the Europa League. I believe they still have a second leg, the round of 16 against Olympiacos, and they drew the first leg 1-1. So they have very much in position to get through to the quarterfinals, and we'll see how they do. So it's always a club I've enjoyed following. I went to see them play back in 2013 when they were in League One on a weeknight when they were playing Oldham, and they played in front of over 19,000 supporters. So I thought that was that kind of resonated with me. The supporters coming out on a weeknight when they're in the third tier of English football still, and supporting their club. And Wolves won 2-0 on that night. So it was kind of I think they ended up winning the League One championship that year. So it's kind of the start of them pushing on back to the top of English football, towards the top. So just wanted to touch on that. It was a good day for United, good day for Chelsea, good day for Aston Villa, especially. We didn't really talk about them, but they were able to get a point at the London Stadium and stay in the Premier League, which is something I did not think would happen 2 weeks ago. But I believe they ended up getting 8 points from their last 8 out of the last 12 points in their last 4 games. So that was just enough for them to get to stay up. So
Yeah,
Fair,
they
fair play
definitely
to
rallied
them.
and had a great run in the end. I mean, their game against, I thought, putting up a 1-0 win against Arsenal was, pretty clutch and securing that. Obviously, getting that goal, a Grealish's goal today, was also clutch in keeping that in the Premier League for next year. But I thought their performance against Arsenal was, equally good at establishing, why they, want to be in the Premier League and why they want to stay in the Premier League. And I thought that was, good for them.
I'm glad you brought up Grealish because I was winding towards our last question that I wanted to talk to you about. Does Aston Villa staying up now, does that kind of put the, I don't want to say like the kibosh on us potentially moving for him? Does that keep his price tag outside of the range of what we should pay?
Yeah, I think we're probably, in the previous conversations we've had about it, I think we, at least in my eyes, I wouldn't have put forth now the amount of money that I think it's going to cost to get him into our squad with Aston Villa staying in the Premier League. I think even if they had been relegated, I think that the question of would we take Grealish? I mean, he obviously still cost a pretty penny, but would we still take him? And I think even if they had been relegated, I think. Yeah, I don't think we should have made such a hard play for him anyway in the beginning. So, to me, it just solidifies the fact that we should move on and look at some other talent. But I think he's definitely going to be much more expensive now that Villa are still in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have said that we weren't really that keen on him, regardless of whether Villa stay up or not. And now that they have stayed up, I think that just makes his asking price, his value, be even higher. And I think that just, to me, it's just an avenue I don't really want us to go down. I'd rather have us spend maybe even over the odds money on Sancho, who's much younger but has proven much more on a higher level than I feel Grealish has. So that's something that I would lean towards if we're going to add some attacking talent, because I think Sancho could get into our best starting 11 that we've seen right away. While I don't think Grealish is the requisite quality to make that starting 11. So I think he would always be on the bench if everyone's fit. So he would still get plenty of game time, but
and Sancho's the long-term, strategy really. I mean, if we sign Grealish, essentially it would be saying, we're looking for like a minor fix, an immediate fix perhaps. But I agree. I think Sancho is definitely the long-term solution.
Yeah, and if we're gonna go for a Band-Aid, if you will, bandage, I'd rather us go after a Willian, who's now a free agent. Well, will be a free agent after the FA Cup final, or I don't know how long he extended his contract. Maybe he'll be a free agent after they finish their Champions League defeat to Bayern Munich in the beginning of August. But I'd rather us move after him, despite him being much older than Grealish. He could clearly still play and could be that quick fix for the next 12 or 18 months, where we try and it might take that long for us to bring in Sancho, given what's going on in the world and given Ed Woodward's track record in negotiations. So, that's definitely something that is to keep an eye on, see how the Grealish saga plays out. If there is a saga, hopefully there won't be a saga, but keep an eye on that. That's it for the Theater of Football. The curtains are now closing. Thank you, Patrick, for joining me, and we'll go celebrate our third place finish, but we won't celebrate too hard because it's still not a championship. So, but we do get to enjoy Champions League football again next year. So, for Patrick, what's that, Patrick?
I said we'll take the opportunity to celebrate when we can.
That's a good point. But maybe we'll have a Europa League trophy to celebrate again here.
Oh, that's true.
Here in a few weeks, so I guess we could celebrate that, even if it's not a Champions League trophy, but it's still a trophy at least. But for Patrick, I'm Mike. Thanks again for joining us, and be sure to like the video, subscribe, and give your reaction in the comments below. Thank you, and have a nice night.
Cheers, everyone.
Oh, hello. Thank you for watching the Theater of Football. If you think Mike got it wrong yet again, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below.